When I first saw Amidar in the arcade, I was pretty intrigued with it. I really liked the concept of the grid capture type game where you had to complete a square in order to capture it. The premise of the game was kind of interesting. I never could figure out why on one level you would have a gorilla being chased by Ooga Booga Men, and then on another level you would have a paint roller being chased by pigs. It was kind of bizarre, but it turned out to be a pretty fun arcade game that I really enjoyed. One of the challenges I had with this game was to learn the patterns of the Ooga Booga Men and the pigs as they ran around. Initially, I had trouble playing this game because I thought they was chasing you down no matter where you're at. But I come to find out they're following a certain set of rules to move around the board. And if you learn their movement patterns, you can guess where they're going to go fairly accurately and avoid them. So a little practice and learning the movements of the little Ooga Booga Men and the pigs, I was able to play the game halfway decent in the arcade. I never did get a really good high score on it, but it still did not put me off to enjoying the game. One of the things I really like about the arcade game is the bonus level. I find that really challenging. I think it's a lot of fun trying to guess where to send your little pig guy down to get that banana at the bottom. And of course, the paint roller stage, that is much more difficult for me to play because you have to make a box off of the box you previously made. If you extend your line too far, it'll disappear. So that makes it really challenging to try to build up the line to capture as many boxes as you can. I like how they have the point values inside. And of course, you can flip the tables on the little Ooga Booga Men or the pigs by filling in the 4 squares of each maze, and that allows you to go around and knock them over, knock them off the maze. Or you can hit the fire button to make them bounce up off the maze to go underneath of them. That's only temporary. Other than that, it's a fun game. I really enjoy this. And not too long after the arcade game came out, just a few years, Parker Brothers released it for the Atari 2600. Now, I was pretty stoked to see this because I was really big into buying arcade ports on my Atari 2600 way back then because I love arcade games. So I was pretty excited to see this. Now, I didn't buy it outright. At the time when this came out, there was a lot of mom and pop and other video rental stores renting VHS tapes and stuff like that. And they usually had a section of Atari 2600 games that you can rent. So my first experience with this game was I rented it from a small mom and pop store that was close to my house. And initially when I got it home and plugged it in, the first thing I noticed was how slow the game ran. But that's an advantage for me because I can't really play video games very well. I enjoy the living daylights out of them, but if they're moving really fast, I tend to die pretty quick. So this was right up my alley, and I was able to play the game halfway decently, even with the slow movement. Now, the 2600 port differs from the arcade version quite a bit. One of the things you're going to notice is we don't have that bonus stage anymore, which is a bummer. I would have loved to have had that at home on the 2600. And you'll notice when you get to the paint roller stage that it doesn't follow the rules of the arcade game. You basically are just playing the first level with the gorilla, but with a paintbrush instead. So you can go anywhere you want to on the screen and make boxes. That was a shame. But Parker Brothers got the gist of the gameplay, making boxes, capturing the territory. So for a 2600 port, it's not bad at all, considering the limitations of the system. Now let's take a look at what came in the box. All right, let's take a look at the box art here. Pretty nice box art. Part of the arcade game series, Amidar. I never could figure out how come we went from an ape to a guy that's painting. An ape avoiding little conga bonga men, and a painter guy avoiding little pig guys. It's kind of weird. Anyway, really nice box. On the back we have representation of the 2 levels. This doesn't have the bonus level in it, unfortunately. And it doesn't really follow the arcade rules as much either, that I noticed. But it's still pretty cool. Amidar, welcome to the wacky, weird, wonderful world, the Amidar video game, where a crazy cast of characters go ape in a mad maze chase. Can you be quick enough to stay ahead of the pack and make your way through the maze? In the world of Amidar video game and find out. Pretty cool. So inside the box we have a really nice full color manual. I love the Parker Brothers manuals. They're a little bit different. You know, most Atari manuals are this way, but Parker Brothers do it sideways. I kind of like the Parker Brother method. Of course, it explains the gameplay and what you got to do, how the warriors actually move. They do move in a certain way, which I talked about earlier when I was playing the arcade game. Turn the warriors into chickens. I always love that. Turn them into chickens on this version. It cracks me up. Oh, look at this. Just a word for all your serious video arcade owners. If you wish to start the game at level 1, set the difficulty switch at Expert. If you wish to start at level 3, set it at Novice. Good luck, and don't let those warriors catch me. Oh, we got our scoring table, game levels. Pretty cool. Speed slowest, fastest. Round 6. 6 pigs. Wow. 6 warriors, 6 pigs. Wow. I need to try that level out. And you can see, unfortunately, the label has come off my cartridge itself. I gotta fix that. But it's a nice looking cartridge. I like the Parker Brothers cartridges. They're pretty cool looking. And I like how they're held inside of this little cardboard insert in here. It's fixed up inside of there. Keeps the cartridge from bouncing around and everything. It's pretty cool. Anyway, that was Amidar for the Atari 2600. What are your thoughts on the arcade game and its port to the Atari 2600? Comment down below. Thanks for watching.